Hello and welcome to Express News with me, Deepika, your daily half-an-hour window that brings you 100 news and updates from the country and the world in the next 30 minutes. Let's begin. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended the 16th BRICS Summit in Russia's Kazan. The two-day summit is themed strengthening multilateralism for just global development and security. Leaders at the BRICS Summit adopted the Kazan Declaration on Wednesday. They discussed three main pillars of cooperation: politics and security, the economy and finance, along with cultural and humanitarian ties. The 16th BRICS Summit in Kazan this year is historic as the old and new leaders of the expanded BRICS family came for their first photo op together on Wednesday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held bilateral talks with Chinese President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of BRICS Summit in Russia's Kazan on Wednesday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the plenary session of the BRICS Summit on Wednesday, highlighting the impact of New Development Bank on the Global South. In the address, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced that BRICS Startup Forum is to be launched this year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also emphasized how BRICS is now economically stronger and the reforms and initiatives that have helped it grow. Earlier on day one of BRICS Summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi met Russian President Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of the BRICS Summit in Kazan. They looked at the increasing role of BRICS, which is playing in the world affairs. India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Putin addressed issues including trade, economy, energy, defence and education. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also held bilateral talks with Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian on the sidelines of the BRICS Summit. India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman interacted with students at the Wharton Business School, University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia, USA. In her interaction, Nirmala Sitharaman said that India is at a very critical juncture and is set to become a developed nation in the year 2047. India and Pakistan have agreed to extend the validity of the agreement on Sri Kartarpur Sahib corridor for a period of 5 years. Israel on Tuesday confirmed it had killed Hashim Safidan, the heir apparent to Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, who was previously killed in an Israeli attack on the 4th of October. Israel's military said it had killed 3 more Hezbollah commanders and some 70 fighters in southern Lebanon in the past 48 hours. The IDF called on residents of parts of the South Lebanon city of Tyre to evacuate on Wednesday ahead of military operations targeting Lebanese militant group Hezbollah. Antony Blinken landed in Riyadh on Wednesday in a renewed push by the US Secretary of State to broker diplomatic ties between Saudi Arabia and Israel. On Tuesday, US top diplomat Antony Blinken met with Israeli leadership to revive ceasefire talks in the region. Antony Blinken urged Israel to use the opportunity created by its success in dismantling much of Hamas's capacity in Gaza to reach a longer-term solution in the conflict. German airline Lufthansa has extended the suspension of its flight to Tehran and Beirut until early next year based over concerns of a wider conflict. In the capital Nicosia, Cyprus and the United States held for strategic dialogue to bolster security with the participation of United States Assistant Secretary of State for Europe and Eurasia, James O'Brien. Britain's Defence Minister John Healey and his German counterpart Boris Pistorius signed a defence agreement on Wednesday, the first of its kind between Europe's two biggest spenders on defence. South Korean lawmakers claimed on Wednesday that North Korea has sent 3,000 troops to Russia to support its war against Ukraine. US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said on Wednesday there is evidence that North Korea troops are in Russia and it remains to be seen what they would be doing there. China on Wednesday said there is nothing more normal than China's aircraft carriers operating in their own territory and waters after its aircraft carrier group sailed through the Taiwan Strait. Weeks ahead of the election, US presidential candidate Kamala Harris unveiled her economic proposals emphasizing the need for funding small businesses. Taking a dig at opponent Kamala Harris, former US President Donald Trump called her a low IQ individual while addressing a gathering in North Carolina on Tuesday. Donald Trump's camp has accused British Prime Minister Keir Starmer's Labour Party of blatant foreign interference in the presidential election after its volunteers travelled to the United States to help campaign for Kamala Harris. The Pakistan federal government has decided to withdraw electricity subsidy for consumers using up to 200 units per month. This will result in increased electricity bill for the public. An outbreak of foot-and-mouth disease in Misrata, Libya, has crippled local cattle farming. Dairy production has plunged from 70,000 litres to just 20,000 litres a day, severely impacting the economy. Nepalese activist Urmila Chaudhary has been awarded the Global Anti-Racism Championship Award 2024 presented by US Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Britain's King Charles and Queen Camilla touched down in Samoa on Wednesday for the 75th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. The Indian Army concluded its integrated fire and maneuver training exercise Swalamban Shakti on Tuesday at the Babina field firing ranges located in the northern Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. Jharkhand Mukti Morcha on Tuesday released its first list of 35 candidates for the upcoming assembly polls in the East Indian state. Shiv Sena also released its first list of 45 candidates for the upcoming single-phase Maharashtra Assembly poll scheduled for the 20th of November. India's Gujarat received an award for excellence in water management by President Draupadi Murmu at a National Water Awards ceremony in New Delhi. The International Monetary Fund has retained its growth rate projects for India in its latest World Economic Outlook and expected India to grow at 7% in the current fiscal year. India's Union Minister for Road Transport and Highways, Nitin Gadkari, on Wednesday inaugurated World Congress on Engineering Asset Management organized by IIT Kanpur at the Constitution Club in Delhi. Union Minister Nityanand Rai addressed an event to commemorate the International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction in New Delhi on Wednesday. In Karnataka, an under-construction building collapsed, killing 5 people and injuring 5 others. The injured have been admitted to the local hospital. Air India and Singapore Airlines have agreed to significantly expand their code-share agreement, adding 11 Indian cities and another 40 international destinations to their network. Indian benchmark equity indices ended Wednesday's choppy session to settle in the negative territory. BSE Sensex shed 138 points to settle at 80,081. NSE Nifty 50 dropped 36 points to end at 24,435. Nifty Small Cap 100 and Nifty Mid Cap 100 settled with gains of 1.25% and 0.64% respectively. Indian rupee gained 1 paise to close at 84.07 against the US dollar in early trade on Wednesday. Gold futures maturing on the 5th of December stood at 78,747 rupees per 10 grams on the Multi-Commodity Exchange of India. Silver futures maturing on the 5th of December were retailing at 99,500 per kilogram on the MCX. Oil prices dipped on Wednesday after industry data showed US crude inventories swelled more than expected. Brent crude futures dipped 20 cents to $75.84 a barrel. The dollar was on the rise again on Wednesday, keeping pressure on the yen and the euro, while Asian stocks inched higher. China and Hong Kong stocks also gained on Wednesday, buoyed by the promise of government help for the economy, even though timing of stimulus measures remain uncertain. We're heading for a short break. We'll be right back.
This week on Defense Dynamics. we bring to you how India alongside other navies of Quad partners conducted exercise Malabar to check the growing Chinese hegemony in the Indo-Pacific region. On the show, we'll also tell you about Indian Army's largest arm, the infantry, and why do they celebrate the October 27th as the Infantry Day. In the show, we'll highlight the Indian Air Force's strategic airlift capabilities and tell you why it is so important for safeguarding national security, regional geopolitical interests and HADR missions across the globe. Watch Defense Dynamics on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. IST only on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. Let's continue. Philippines braces for the tropical storm Trami. Government agencies prepare for emergency as President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. directs them to stay alert towards people's safety. Tropical storm Trami has killed at least 14 people in the Philippines. Over 24,000 residents have been displaced due to landslides and flash floods. Heavy downpour lashed central regions as storm makes landfall, triggering flash floods. Many people rescued by the authorities. Strong winds and heavy downpour batter Cuba as tropical storm Oscar ravages the eastern region. 6 people were reported dead due to bad weather. Rescue operations are still underway in Cuba, with the administration assessing the damage in the already troubled Caribbean country. East India's Odisha, West Bengal brace for Dana trench. The cyclone is set to hit the coastline of the two states as a severe cyclonic storm between Thursday night and Friday morning. Evacuations are underway in coastal regions of two states as preparations intensify. In Odisha, more than 5,000 relief centers have been set up with all modern facilities. According to India's weather officials, rainfall is expected over the southeast peninsular region for the next 4 days. Thunderstorms accompanied by lightning are likely to occur in isolated locations of southern state of Andhra Pradesh. Hazardous smog engulfed Indian capital New Delhi, registering a very poor air quality index of 354 on Wednesday morning. Delhi's daily average AQI is likely to remain in the very poor category in the coming days. Pakistan's Lahore tops the list of world's most polluted cities with an air quality index of 291 according to Swiss group IQ Air. Dense smoke engulfed the city on Wednesday morning. A top official from Pak's Environment Protection Agency warned that the pollution levels could have been worse if ongoing government efforts were not in place. As the UN Biodiversity Summit takes place in Cali, Colombia, the city has opened green zones to engage citizens in conservation talks. Green zones aims at strengthening public participation in COP16 negotiations. Organizers hope this will amplify diverse voices in the discussions. UK's biggest water company, Thames, fights for its survival. UK to launch independent commission tackling the crisis in its water utility sector after years of underinvestment and pollution scandals. The commission will be headed by former Deputy Governor of the Bank of England. It aims at strengthening regulation, boost investment and guide reforms to address inherited system issues. Climate change troubles Greece's butterflies that rely on temperature to perform essential activities. Warmer temperatures linked are making them harder for them, scientists say. Greece boasts the largest population of some 237 species of butterflies in Europe, many of which are endemic. Food is scarcer, flowering periods are shorter, and experts now suspect the butterflies may be getting smaller. Ahead of Deepotsav festival in India, a laser light show was organized at Ayodhya Surya Kund in the temple town. The show was a visual treat for the audiences. The laser show at Surya Kund brought epic characters of Ramayana to life in a dynamic display. It depicted the life of Lord Ram, his journey to the throne and the arrival of Lord Sun to the earth. Researchers have discovered a series of doodles engraved on copper plates by English poet and painter William Blake as a teenager. The engraved plates revealed William Blake's private moments of practice as well as themes that would later appear in his paintings and poetry. Halloween comes early to UK's Whipsnade Zoo. Keepers were seen served snack-filled pumpkins to monkeys, yaks and babyroses. Carved pumpkins were scattered around enclosures. While some pumpkins were filled with treats, others were left empty, the tricks putting the animals' foraging and hunting skills to the test. A seminar held by the Institute of Archaeology under the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences released further findings over the jade and stone workshop discovered in Sangshuaktio ruins. At present, 19 types of jade and stone materials have been identified, with the origin of the raw materials of these jade artifacts being examined. Queen's bathing service begins in Japan's Hokuto city, Hokkaido. A hot spring facility in the northern Japanese city of Hokuto in Hokkaido is offering a warm bath filled with Queen's foods, a local specialty. The facility began providing the service on Tuesday. People soaked in the bathing water filled with about 50 Queen's fruits. The Queen's hot bathing service runs until the 4th of November. The Plekimine exhibition begins in Algeria's Tizio Zoo. The exhibition celebrates the Plekimine fruit, marking its 10th edition with around 150 visitors and exhibitions. The exhibition showcases not only Plekimines but also other local products like dried figs, olive oil, jewelry and pottery. Plekimine exhibition also includes various cultural and artistic activities, making it a vibrant and festive occasion. A university team in Chile built a huge 3D printed concrete home. They say it is Latin America's first such building using a robot printer. The so-called seat house used as antenna UBP printer and a KUKA KR120 industrial robot to rapidly create the compact home, pouring layer upon layer of concrete to build the walls in just 29 hours. A painting by a humanoid robot artist called Ida will make history this month. It will be auctioned for the first time by Sotheby's House. The work called AI God is a 7-foot-tall impressionistic portrait depicting the father of modern computing, Alan Turing. It is anticipated to fetch between $120,000 to $180,000. Eddie Redmayne and Lashana Lynch graced the London red carpet for the premiere of their new thriller series called The Day of the Jackal. The show will debut on Sky Atlantic on November the 7th. Based on the 1971 novel, the series The Day of the Jackal follows an assassin being pursued across Europe. Amelia Perez stars Zoe Saldana to honored with the Santa Barbara International Film Festival American Riviera Award. The SBIFF will honor the actress on 7th of February at Santa Barbara's Arlington Theatre. Actor and singer Scarlett Johansson has come on board to produce along with Scott Stuber on adaptation of The Girl in the Lake. She's in talks to play the title character. Actor Ryan Moe joins Iranian-Canadian director Jasmine Muzaffari's short film drama called Motherland as an executive producer. Motherland offers a raw portrayal of Iranian experience in 1979, grappling with revolution crisis. Bollywood actor Abhishek Bachchan unveiled the title of his film with Shujit Sarkar, titled I Want to Talk. The film is set to release in theatres on 22nd of November. In hockey, India crashed to 0-2 defeat against Germany in bilateral series in New Delhi. The visitors lead the two-match series by 1-0. Deccan Strangers hat-trick helped Australia to end India's unbeaten streak at the Sultan of Johor Cup with a resounding 4-0 victory in Malaysia. India looked to bounce back in the second test against New Zealand starting on Thursday in Pune. Men in blue aim to qualify for the ICC World Test Championship 2025 final. India's head coach Gautam Gambhir backed KL Rahul to regain his batting form in the second test against New Zealand. India's Sports Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandaviya chaired a stakeholders consultation meeting to discuss the draft National Sports Governance Bill 2024 in New Delhi. Pakistan to face England for the decider test match in Rawalpindi. Pakistan announced the same squad that beat England by 152 runs in the second test. 2020 US Open champion Dominic Thiem announced his retirement from tennis after straight set defeat in the first round of Vienna Open. Poland's Iga Świątek to play in Billie Jean King Cup finals in Malaga in November in the opening match. Świątek has not played since a US Open quarter-final defeat. In basketball, Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James and his son Bronny made NBA history against Minnesota Timberwolves, becoming the first father-son duo to share the court in an NBA game. And in football, Real Madrid fought back from 2 goals down as Vinicius Jr. grabbed the hat-trick in a thrilling 5-2 victory over visitors Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League. And with this, it's a wrap here on Express News for now, but news and updates will continue here on DD India. So don't go anywhere, keep watching and keep tracking DD India for all latest news and updates from the country and the world. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Namaskar. Now let's take you to the visuals where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is departing from Kazan. And there you can see the visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who participated in the 16th BRICS summit held under Russia's chairmanship in Kazan. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is now departing from Kazan to India. Well, the BRICS leader had a productive discussion, including on strengthening multilateralism, countering terrorism, fostering economic growth, and also pursuing sustainable development, along with bringing spotlight on the concerns of the global south. The leaders at the BRICS summit also welcomed 13 new BRICS partner countries. There you can see India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi now being greeted at the airport because he's departing from Kazan after concluding his BRICS summit visit to Kazan. This is the 16th BRICS summit, Kazan summit, which is happening in Kazan this time. And during the BRICS summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed 2 sessions. In his address, Prime Minister noted that the summit is happening at a time when the world is undergoing several uncertainties and challenges, including conflicts, adverse climatic impacts, and also cyber threats, placing greater expectations upon the BRICS members. Not only this, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, during his BRICS summit attendance, suggested that the group take a people-centric approach to tackle all these challenges. And apart from that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the 16th BRICS summit in Kazan also underlined the need for early adoption of a comprehensive convention on the international terrorism at the United Nations to combat the menace of terrorism. We are telling you the top highlights of the concluded 16th BRICS summit that took place in Kazan. These are the visuals of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who's departing from Kazan, and he would be now heading back to India after concluding his visit to Kazan, attending the 16th BRICS summit, where we saw n number of bilateral meetings happening between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and other ministers. We also saw a very healthy and fruitful meeting of Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the 16th BRICS summit, and how he was treated very warmly, welcomed very warmly by President Vladimir Putin also. And with this, it's a wrap here in Express News. We'll be right back with a fresh bulletin. Thank you so much for joining us right now.